Good morning, good afternoon, everyone. My name is Gopal Krishnamurthy, and I'm the founder and CEO of Lumal and Inforiver, and I have the pleasure of speaking to you today about data writeback in Power BI and how you can accelerate your data journey and productivity with our Inforiver Enterprise Matrix today. The plan is to walk through all of the slides, introduce the company to you, and then actually also show you the demos and walk through the pricing, the architecture, and then some of the pre-submitted frequently asked questions. And if you have questions, please feel free to submit them in the chat panel for questions, and we will, with time permitting, we would get back to you right in the webinar live, or we will reach out to you with the answers to the question. With that, I would like to begin the webinar today. Lumal Technologies is an organization that has been in business for over 12 years, and we are the largest player focused around building Power BI add-on solutions for Microsoft Power BI customers. We come from an SAP Business Objects background, and we used to do add-on solutions for SAP customers in the first 7 years, and a lot of our add-ons are very, very mature because of the rich history and focus in the BI and analytics space. And we support over 2,000 enterprise customers worldwide with our Power BI add-on solutions. What are some of our top Power BI data applications that you can download from the Power BI app source? Some of you are very familiar with our XVIS for our project management Gantt chart. A lot of you might have known Valcue, which won the Financial Modeling Innovation Award for advanced planning, simulation, and scenario analysis. Some of you recently saw a Power BI blog featuring the Inforiver charts for storytelling and advanced visualization. Today, we will be focusing on the Inforiver matrix, which you can use it just like Excel for doing your reporting, your pivot analysis. But we will be focusing a lot on the write-back use cases where you can input the data and do the write-back. Why data write-back in Power BI? Customers expect an ability to look at their actuals, which is your BI, your corporate performance management, which is the variances to budgets and forecast, and also the ability to input and update your enterprise performance goals, like your budgets, forecasts, all in one place in a single consolidated view. They would like to do what-if simulations to quickly adjust their forecasts right from your BI reports. They want to be able to quickly do the latest sales projections or financial planning. They would like to capture user inputs like contextual comments and then validated comments right inside the Power BI report. And then they also want actionable insights on business performance, which could be why the variances happen on exceptions and outliers. What are some of the options available today to you? One of the foremost option, if you are looking for a write back, is the Power Apps. And there are a lot of pros and cons to it, and I wanted to touch on that because this is a predominantly used option in the marketplace today. It's a Microsoft native solution. That is the one and only benefit. Other than if you really look at it, you can't really, it's not built for an analytical integrated use case. It requires a separate Power Apps licensing, and it's a lot more expensive. It doesn't really suit an more expansive advanced scenario where you can have a row hierarchy and a column hierarchy, pivot table like setup, and then you can't really do rich data level comments. You can't really, it's more like an input forms rather than editing a table. There is a row limitations. You can't really build security around it, which is one of the reasons why customers come from Excel to Power BI. And we actually wrote a blog that I encourage all of you to refer to. Now, what are some of the expectations of write-back solutions? Customers sometimes want to be able to input and update and write back just like they can do it in Excel as fast. It's more like a self-service, unstructured write back. Ability to write back to both your on-prem and cloud databases like Snowflake or even Synapse or even OneDrive, SharePoint, and the ability to support full write back as well as the delta write back, the ability to ignore subtotals and totals, ability to put data level commenting, ability to send only the filtered data, and then the faster time to implementation, all within the framework of Power BI with full data governance and security built in. Inforiver delivers all of the things that we just talked about. You can write back the commentary, and you can write to OneDrive. And the goal of the webinar today is walk through the features that we have today, and then also show some of the exciting stuff that we are actually developing and that we will be shipping very soon. And then also show you the live demo and how you could actually visualize and imagine how you can actually implement in your organization. Why use a third-party solution is something that I wanted to touch on today. Power BI is already a leader in terms of BI, but obviously there are a lot of productivity gaps, heavy investments in DAX, skill sets is needed. You probably are spending quite a bit on the consultants to actually do complex data models and some of the stuff. And there is always a capability gap that Power BI doesn't do what Excel does or what Tableau does or what Click does, or maybe it doesn't have a write back solution. It's not suited for performance management and FP&A. So there is quite a bit of features and functionality unmet gap. That is one of the reasons Microsoft has a very rich app source SDK ecosystem for partners to deliver those unmet needs. And Lumal has heavily invested in bringing a lot of these Power BI features and functionality through our solutions. And these are Power BI certified visuals. And then there is a new concept where you can actually directly buy from Microsoft as well. So this ensures the customer doesn't have to buy yet another solution for these unmet needs. Rather, they build upon Power BI itself. So it is one integrated system with eliminating the data silos and consolidated view of the data. What I wanted to talk about today is I wanted to show you how you can actually enter data and then save the data and then write back. One of the features in Inforiver, we initially launched with just the ability to do the number. And today we have the text, you have the input drop-down box, the multi-select, the check boxes, the dates that you can actually input. But very, very important, you can actually do it on the reading mode as well. Not just the Power BI editor, but a Power BI consumer. We expose this more like a form where the actuals is there at the beginning, and then whatever you want to capture, you are able to capture in the reading mode itself, and then you are able to write back. One of the things I wanted to touch on is we are also bringing in new capability, like the ability to identify who was the last person who updated it and when did they update. So because Inforiver has rich auditing capabilities, we track who, what, when, and what they changed. We are able to provide this capability in a column as well. That feature is coming soon to you. This is one of the very popular asks from customers is the ability to do a drop-down list of values. The customers asked, we delivered a kind of a manual options where you can actually define these are the drop-down options. We then released the ability to pick some standard presets like yes or no, or a project status or approval status. And now we are delivering the option where you can actually link it to a Power BI dataset dimension, and then you can actually bring like a validated dimensional list of values from the DAX dimension. This feature is something that a lot of customers asked, and we are able to now deliver to you. The next set of key feature that a lot of customers really would wanted is by using the conditional formatting or set of condition, allow only input if the variance was this or if a particular condition was met. Today we have this functionality where you can say, I want comment only if a particular condition was met. This feature is available to all the users. Now let's talk about the architecture. A lot of you are familiar with the Inforiver premium matrix. And today we have the visual in the app source. What we did actually is we built cloud native components that communicates with this visual, all packaged in a kind of a Kubernetes Docker containers, where it communicates with the visual as the users make the updates. We have a database storage block, we have the Redis cache. All this packaged is a kind of a one-click deployment where you get it from the Azure services from the Azure marketplace. We use the Microsoft O365 authentication, and we also have a commenting collaboration. That's why we have the SMTP mail server. So you can actually, as you input comments, you are able to collaborate with your peers and colleagues. And what we also do as a unique architecture is we allow customers to bring their own write-back destinations, which means even though we provide all these Azure services packaged, you bring your own database destination from more from a data governance, more from an architectural flexibility perspective. Then all of this can be obtained as a fully managed SaaS solution, or for customers concerned about data security and governance, you can actually get an on-prem private Azure private tenant edition as well. So we provide both the options for customers, and it doesn't mean the SaaS solution is less secure. The data is encrypted both in REST and in transit, but we wanted to give the options to the customer where it's not only a modern cloud native architecture, which has a less maintenance and a higher what I call as ease of use from overall administration, maintenance, and the ease of use for the end user. But we wanted to make sure we have both the installation option, deployment option available as well. Coming down to the write-back destination, we are truly focused on supporting both the cloud data warehouses like Snowflake and Azure Synapse and Azure SQL, as well as if the customer wants to write back to the Redshift or SAP HANA, we support all the SQL database destination. What I wanted to mention, something that is our team is working on bringing in Azure Synapse Serverless as one of the destination in the 2.0 release that would be coming soon. And this is something that is a pretty unique architecture where you don't have to really the managing of the database destination. Everything is extremely administrative center where an admin can actually pre-configure them in a self-service manner. The other item I wanted to talk about is one I mentioned. You can have the admin lock the ability to create or allow. So based on the organization size, the customers can choose what they want to allow or not allow. You can enable or disable OneDrive or SharePoint or even the URL-based webhook for doing the write back. We provide all of these capabilities with our product. The scenario management is something that is pretty robust, and we are going to continuously invest into that, where we give the ability to create new scenarios and then write back those scenarios into the database. I will be giving you a little demo on that as well. You can also specify which user can actually do the write back and whether you want to allow the write back in the reading mode. You can still collect the data input in the reading mode, but not allow somebody to save it, and only specific users can do it only in the edit mode. So you have a lot of different flexibility around that. This is one of the things that I wanted to mention is we can support only writing back certain scenarios for certain users. So that kind of flexibility is there. The user level administration, this user can only do this kind of scenario. You can actually set it up as well. We also provide settings where you can actually exclude the totals put in a custom filter and write back only the particular one. One thing I wanted to mention, when you write back the comment, the collaborative comment, we are able to pass who commented what when in a JSON format into the write back table. So you have the full context of not just the comment, we are able to do that as well. We also support live synchronization as well, where as the updates happen, you are able to do a direct query join into the Power BI data model. We typically write to a separate write back table, and you are able to join with the direct query in case you need a live synchronization capability where as the values change, they appear on the report. You have this capability as well. And we have robust auditing and log for our write back solution. I want to touch on comments because a lot of customers have been approaching us for more of a comment capture, both from a collaboration perspective, but we are like one of the product that is as robust as Excel, where you can actually do a comment in a cell level. You can do it at a row header level, column header level. You can actually have a separate comment column, and we provide rich text commenting as well. So all of these capabilities are available with our product. You also have the ability to do notes and annotations with our product. The difference between comments and notes and annotations is comments is collaborative, which has a user context, who commented what and when, whereas notes and annotation don't have an user context. So this is something for you all to keep in mind. And the notes can be turned into footnotes as well. This is what I mentioned. With our product, we provide a rich collaboration capability. Not just you can comment, you can actually place a comment and ask someone in your team, let's say your boss, to actually review and approve. So you can assign tasks and you can do notifications. You have all of these commenting thread, all of these capabilities are available, and you can actually even write back. So you have the rich comment panel filters, and you can see comments only, recent commentaries. You can do all of those capabilities as well. So this is just to say what is notes, annotation, and comments. And these are a lot of the feedbacks that customers have been asking, and we provide all of the capabilities when it comes to commentary. And I just wanted to just give you, when you talk about the business requirements, these are what we have gathered. I wanted to touch on our roadmap. Right now, we are currently live with 1.75, and our team is working on our release 2.0, and I will be giving you a preview of some of the features that is already in development. Our plan is to do a 1.8 release where some of these features that is there in the 2.0 would get probably shipped by the end of November, or maybe maybe in 2 weeks. But our goal is to wrap this up, which basically completes the robustness of our solution. I wanted to just kind of touch on some of the things that we are working on. I touched on that we are working on the last updated the individual. We are also trying to give a filter support as you enter on the data input columns to see what has been entered. This is something that I'm very, very excited about, is something that is going to come to the premium matrix as well, is we are going to provide an ability to input a value and lock that particular cell or the children. It's a big business case from an enterprise planning solutions perspective. For example, let's say your rent is $5,000. It's a fixed expense. So you put in $5,000 and you lock it. So no matter what the total changes, that 5,000 is locked, so that you know what is your fixed cost, and you know for sure this is it. You can actually go and lock and then allocate around it. So you can use this for in allocation and simulation. And I will be doing a live demo of this feature because this is developed and we are looking to ship it with 1.8 release itself. This is one of the big asks from customers, is I really want to use it like an enterprise forecasting tool. And we are able to bring this functionality because of a lot of the customer demand. Along the same lines, customers asked us, we want to put some constraints where we want to specify the min and max, because we don't want users to be entering some random numbers. So kind of boundary conditions, we are bringing this capability as well with the data input columns. Then customers wanted more security around commenting. This is something we are working on, where you are able to comment and you are able to lock the access, who can actually see the comment. So this is an extra level of security that we are bringing into the commenting features that we had. So you will be able to have a better grain control on the commenting security. We are re-architecting and re-implementing the scenarios, and this is going to be one of our big deliverable, because a lot of the customers loved our scenario concept, but they really wanted more of enterprise planning capabilities, where they wanted the ability to create scenarios, private scenario and a shared scenario. We had this concept in Valq. We are able to bring this in. So now this is really where you can create a scenario for just yourself, or you can create the scenario for your team and share it. And you can create the scenarios in the reading mode as well. And then you are able to write that back. So all of this flexibility in the scenarios and the versioning, we are bringing it to our customers. And you can write back a specific scenario. And the most importantly, we are giving multiple write back formats in the destination table, because what really happened, some customers preferred a certain write back format. So now we are giving the choice, because a large enterprise may prefer a particular format versus a small organization may prefer a certain write back format, how it is pivoted, and what we offer. So we are able to provide all the different options to the customers. The other thing that we are working on is able to map additional columns like a keys, like say you have a quarter automatically roll up to the year. So with the DAX dimension, we are able to behind the scene, when you write back, we are able to add those qualifiers, the key field qualifiers, so you are able to join back easily. So this is something that should make the product much more scalable and an enterprise class solution. This is, again, we are very excited about this feature. We are also going to provide a write back toolbar, or an ability to choose. I want a toolbar that is perfectly optimized for write back user. So this is kind of something where you have a minimal toolbar, but it just focuses on things that you need when you are performing inputs and the write back. That is also coming soon. This is something very important to a lot of customers, because Inforiver is not just used for data inputs and write back. A lot of customers use it for financial reporting, management reporting, variance reporting. And a lot of customers asked us for the ability to do custom fonts. They have their own corporate fonts. We are bringing this capability for the enterprise matrix, because the enterprise matrix has a database. And so you will be allowed to upload the fonts, your corporate fonts, and then you can use it in your reports, and the PDF, all that will have the font of your choice. So this feature is coming. Most likely it will come by the end of this month with the 1.8 release itself, not necessarily the 2. That's why I said half of the feature that you saw on the 2.0 release will get shipped as 1.8 at the end of this month. And I'm going to do a demo right now. First, I wanted to show you a use case where I have a demo, where I have a global sales organization that I lead, and I'm going to set a high level goal for the team, and I'm going to ask the two regional manager, one the international manager and the US manager, and I'm going to show you how with the row level security you are able to input and you are able to write back, and I will show you, and then I will walk into the product and I will walk into a lot of these features. And I'm also demonstrating the live sync capability. Now, as the head of the company, I would like to achieve close to $1 billion. I want you to watch. I'm able to put in 1 billion, and I am able to actually use the weight of the 2022 actual. So this is one of the feature our product has. And I would like maybe the East to do 400 million. I'm able to do things like this. And then the international, I would like them to achieve 600 million. I want you to see how we are able to input scaled numbers. And for EMEA, I would like them to do maybe 400 million. And I want to distribute it equally across all the 4 quarters. So you have the ability to distribute Now APAC, I can do 200 million, but I'm expecting my sales to be able to trending more geared towards the later part of the quarter, so I can actually do the distribution. One of the strengths of our product is fast input capture, the ability to do the allocation and the ability to do the simulation. Now, I am going to ask the country managers what their confidence level is to achieve this. So for this, I am actually going to switch the browser because I have already pre-configured and I have it here, and I'm actually going to do the refresh of the report. And I'm actually going to show you, this is what this manager, the international manager sees, and he is being tasked with to achieve 600 million. And he's going to review this number and he's going to update it. So he thinks EMEA is likely to be only 350 million. He updates and he updates this one to say 250 million. He's still trying to do, but he's making that. Now here, the confidence level is low, and you see the comments field opened up, and it's saying the current geopolitical situation in Europe. So that is why the confidence is kind of low. And I'm going to actually save this right back. So this is the international user able to do it and able to save. Now I'm going to come into another user. I'm in private, and this is a different user altogether. And I'm just going to do the refresh just for the sake of this. And this user should be able to see the changes that was inputted. And you see it is doing a live synchronization of what was inputted. And this user, let's say I'm going to need to make it up. He thinks he can actually do 900 million only. And you can do the same allocation. He's making an update and he's having a low confidence because now the comment should open up saying potential recession. You can input a comment at all of the cell levels as well and put in a status, and then it doesn't ask for it. And the same thing, you can actually put in a scenario and you can actually save. So these are some of the capabilities as an organization we support where they have written back. Now, what I like to do is I would like to come to Azure SQL, and I'm going to run this one. And you can see it is in the database now, and you can actually see the users, different users. It has captured what they have entered basically. And it is a completely, you can see what it has been done, and it is captured with the timestamp and what is the value. You have it here. I want to walk into the product now, and I want to show you how all this is done. So I'm in Power BI, and these are our apps that we have. In case you want to try, you can go to the app source. You can see, you can search for Inforiver, and you can actually grab the enterprise. This is our SaaS edition. You have it available in the app source, and you can actually do. Now we can configure the workspace for you after you purchase directly from Microsoft, and we can actually show you. So what I would like to do right now is walk you through the Inforiver Enterprise Matrix and some of the new features that we are bringing in. And you basically assign the Inforiver visual. And I'm going to assign a simple GL hierarchy. And I'm going to actually walk you through the process of, let's say we have the prior year actuals, and I'm going to assign the time dimension. Let's do a quarter, and let's see how you could actually collect your budgets, forecast your commentary, and how the whole login, let me walk you through the product. So one of the things is I'm working on a development build that we are working on, so I can actually share some of the features that we are bringing in for you and how some of the options and settings are available for you as well. So in the enterprise edition of the Inforiver Matrix, you have a sign-in where it actually logs you into the Azure Office 365 authentication. It logs you in. The main primary advantages of this is now you are able to collaborate with your users in the AD group within the organization. What are all some of the options we will walk you through as I walk you through the product demonstration right now. So I'm not going to repeat all the properties in the Inforiver product. Obviously, you can use it for complex financial statement reporting or a paginated reporting. What I am actually going to take you through is the whole concept of inputting your data, configuring your writeback destination, setting up the scenarios, how can you enable in the reading view, and then how can you actually do the writeback and some of the administrator settings. So I'm just going to walk you through them right now. So let us imagine I'm going to collect my next year's budget. So you would come to the insert and we are going to insert the data input column. And what the data input actually does is it is input enabled for the reading view. So let's say name this 2023 budget I'm going to collect. The big difference between the visual measure and the visual column is when you have a dimension in like a time dimension in the column, you would be collecting per quarter the value. And if it is a visual column, it would just collect one at the end. That is something to keep in mind. Now, leave the typical default of the row aggregation type. And this is a new feature that we are trying to bring in that I mentioned, that we are trying to give the boundary conditions in case you are collecting, you want to specify the min and max. This is where I was mentioning that you can actually specify that whether you want to allow the input only in the edit mode, in the read and edit mode, or based on the formula. I even showed you how to do it in the previous demo. Let's leave it in that you can actually input in the read and edit mode. I'm going to create this column. Now, this column is now set up for input. Now, let us say I want to collect simple notes about what people feel about it. You can actually have the same thing. Do you want to allow the entry on the total and subtotal row, or only on the leaf level you want to collect the input? You can actually set it up. Notice this is a visual column because we want to have only one comment, not per quarter, but for the whole year, we want to collect a comment. And for the purposes of this demonstration, I'm just simply going to say, okay, what is the current status? Have you reviewed it? Have you done something? So this is where I was talking about the list of values option that we are coming out with. You have the presets. You can actually give the list of values from a data set. But I'm just going to, for the purposes of this, I'm just going to take a simple pre-configured preset. Let's assume we are going to allow. So now I have collected and set up my input gathering template. Now, what I would like to do next is, let's say I want to collect and I want to write back into a database destination. So you want to set up the destination. So here I set up the write back. Now, what it immediately recognizes that the destination is not configured. So let's go ahead and configure the destination. So this is where it walks you through to the workspace. Now, I have the administrator in my tenant, so I can actually configure my own database. But the administrator can pre-configure a lot of the destinations for me to choose from. But I'm actually going to show you, these are all the database destination we support today, and we are planning to bring in the Azure Synapse serverless as well. We already support Synapse dedicated pool. The serverless is also coming, and we are planning to continuously support all the major popular SQL database destination, as well as the Parquet file data lake writeback is also coming. For the purposes of the demonstration, I'm going to show you that how you can set up the OneDrive. And we are going to select the OneDrive. It is already, since I had logged in, it is connected to my personal OneDrive. I'm just choosing the live demo folder, which I typically do, and I have saved the destination. Now, you may ask a question, can we set up multiple destination? Absolutely, you can set up multiple destination. And for the purposes of this demonstration, I'm just going to say, choose Snowflake for this instance. I'm going to actually select Snowflake, and I'm going to choose Inforiver demo. And today is November 2nd. I'm going to select this table name. And notice, you are able to set up the table
at runtime. So it's not like you have to go to an IT, this is the table that I want to do, and you are able to create a brand new table tied to this particular report and the visual using the pre-configured destination. This is very, very important. This is where the concept of self-service really coming in. And I want you all to understand we support multiple destinations as well. So now that we have set it up, now you get a prompt. Do you want to set up a scenario? Now, typically, if you are going to gather input in the reading mode, you want to set up a scenario so that the core of the writeback collection, you are able to put in some security and governance. And a lot of people I want to have a better scenario management, version management. And this is one area where we are heavily investing. And let's say we want to create a scenario, let's say 2023 budget, we want to create a V1. And this is where I wanted to specify that you can actually choose which columns. You don't want to write back the actuals once again, because the actuals is already in the core native Power BI data set. Which user you want to allow to write back, because you don't want to, maybe some people have edit rights to the report, but you don't want them to be writing back. Do you want to support writing back in the reading mode? All of these configurations are available right here. You can pick up the user groups or the AD. A lot of these options are available right here. For now, I'm just going to choose all users, but we want to support the writing back in the reading mode. So one important lesson for everybody watching is you can create scenarios, you can write back, and maybe after a quarter, you can create another scenario or a rebudget scenario. You have all of these options available, and you can actually write back here. I'm not going to do the write back because we haven't really done any input yet. What I wanted to share with you is, let's assume before I even input anything, I want to really see what are some of the administrator options available for me. So if you come to click on, because you have in the enterprise, you would be logging in. So you see this Inforiver console. So this is, what is your license, your profile settings. But if you click on the Inforiver console, it takes you to the administrator console. So what I really would like to show you, we are making continuous investment into our administrator console so you can have robust user experience. One of the things that we are working on is the onboarding sections. It just gives you, for administrators of the organization, okay, how many users you have, what are some of the permissions and the configurations that you have configured, what is pending, what is the, do you want to allow the users? These are, think of it as a quick summary of all the settings that you have done, whether you have set up OneDrive, we have set it up to write back to a Teams channel or to a state, but it just gives you a quick summary of how the Inforiver write back and the whole enterprise edition is set up, what is configured already, what is not configured. It just gives you a quick overview. What are some of the administrator settings options available? So it has a pretty robust set of options because we continually invest into providing more administrator options. This is the single sign-on entity. Let's say we do the tasks and notification. It comes with the no reply at inforiver.com. You can change it to go out in your own name when you do that. This is the settings. I'm going to talk about the lineage view. You can actually use the AD group. So this is one of the things that if you enable this, when you do the tasks and the notifications, you can actually put in an AD group. Do you want to send large attachments? So you can see our administrator settings continues to grow and it keeps getting better. This is where the administrator has pre-configured the destinations. And then when it comes to the settings, this is where you specify, do you want to allow your end user to set up their own database connections, or you can turn it off. They can actually do you want to support writing back to OneDrive? Do you want to support writing back to SharePoint? One question a lot of customers ask is, can I do the OneDrive or the SharePoint without the enterprise edition? The answer is actually no, because whether it is OneDrive or SharePoint, we still use the Azure services to actually communicate and do the write back to the OneDrive folders, and the Office 365 permissions are needed. So to kind of all of the write back capability, irrespective of the destination, you need the enterprise edition. But I would be showing in the next set of demos the premium matrix, but I wanted to just walk through a lot of the different options. One of the things that I mentioned is we are bringing in what is called as enterprise assets and images and fonts. So in the coming release 1.8, maybe later this month, end of November, you can upload your own corporate fonts right here coming to the administrative console. We are going to preload some of the popular fonts that you could actually, so the whole Inforiver report could actually use your corporate font or some of the fonts that is the Power BI does not have. You can actually bring it in and your export to PDF can use that font, and you can, the scheduler can also use that. And we have a robust monitoring lineage. So you can see we have this, the writeback logs. Again, this is pretty, we haven't done a lot. You can see a lot of these capabilities, the logs, everything is there for you to actually get a full insight into it. Now that we have walked through the administrative console, what is coming, what is already there, I wanted to come back. I wanted to actually show you how a writeback looks like. So one of the things that I wanted to actually show you is I'm just going to be in the edit mode itself, and I'm probably will go into the read mode later on. But let's say as the power user who set up the template, let's say I place a high level goals. Let's say we want to achieve $1.5 billion, and it comes with our proprietary, the ability to distribute. So you can copy the last year weights. So it's proportional. It just distributes it across all of the quarters in a quick. And this is where you are trying to create some excitement in the business users. Hey, this is a lot faster and much more powerful to input. Now, there are some additional capabilities, like let's say I want to keep the bonus constant. You can actually specify, because the budget for the bonus is set, you can keep it 100. You want to keep it distributed equally per quarter. You can do all of that. And one of the new features that I talked about is you can actually lock this cell. So even if you say you can increase the budget for, let's say, I want to increase it by, say, to 600 million, the bonus would remain constant. And I could even say distribute it equally across, say, 4% every quarter. The salary cost is going up. You are able to do a lot of these things very in an intuitive, very faster allocations within our product. What I would like to demonstrate is you are also able to do rich text inputs. Let's say the user is able to say, let's keep the bonus amount constant and lock it. You are able to put in this, and you are able to actually even do rich, because this is one of those things, rich text formatting. We do support this as well. So you can actually do this. You can actually submit it for approval. You can do a lot of that thing. But one of the most powerful feature of our product is you are able to actually, let's say you want to send this particular for approval, or maybe you adjusted the salary budget, you are able to do what is called as a collaborative comment. So you can actually say, can you approve the increase in salary budget? And you can actually tag one of your, by the way, I'm doing my own self. You are able to do this, and you are able to post this comment. And what it does is it sends an email, it assigns a task, and then it takes them back, and then you are able to collect this. What is very, very important is you are able to get a full tracking and audit of all of this. You come to the insert. One of the features we have is you can actually come and actually you can see everything is completely tracked by the product, is who did what and when. So this is one of the power of our product is you have full collaboration, tasks, notification, full audit and tracking of who did that with the enterprise matrix. And let's say now that I have entered, and let's say I want to show you how it would look in the reading view. And if you allow other people to actually do, I'm actually going to show you, I'm going to save this report. I'm going to actually save this report. And I want to show you the reading view experience. And so that you get an idea about how it looks like. So now one thing you notice is, now that we have come to the reading view, you have shared this report and you are going to let the users. So let's say your manager wants to actually bring this down. He's going to review this. So it makes the manager actually sign in, or whoever it is. Obviously, for the purposes of this demonstration, I'm actually going to be the one signing in. It actually knows. And then I'm actually going to basically bring it down a little bit, or maybe the cost of living is more. We are going to increase this part. So you can see you are able to actually do the update right here. And then you are going to basically say this is approved, and you are going to say increased for higher cost of higher inflation. You are able to do this kind of stuff. And let's say you want to write it back to a database, or now that you have done this one, I want to show you how this works. So in the reading view, this is one of the things we are working on, a toolbar customization. It's still a work in progress. If you see, this is the Writeback toolbar that I was talking about. Because you remember in the previous, I had done the notification to assign a task to me. So it is showing up in my tasks. So imagine the report is shared and I have to take an action. So you now have a new feature called my task. So now I can actually review it. I can actually come here and I have a context, and I can actually mention or accept or reject, and I can actually close this one. I can say this is resolved because I have taken an action. I can do that. What it is important is, even in the reading view, you can actually get an idea of what happened. So people have an idea who is updating what, and I'm in the reading view. We are making them folks, everybody sign in so they get a full context of what is happening. And let's say we want to write down, we feel good about it. You have to select the scenario, only then the write back is enabled. So we don't write the core. Now you notice the actuals is removed because we already have the actuals, the native measure in the database. So we are able to actually, when we hit submit, so one of the things that I wanted to show you is, even in the reading mode, we are able to actually perform the write back. So let it write back. You can see we are able to do the write back. One of the things that I wanted to do is I wanted to come back into the edit mode, and I wanted to dig a little deeper into some of the properties and the options that you actually have. Is when we come here, if you notice the settings, something that I wanted to actually show you, you have the option before writing back. Do you want to exclude the totals and the subtotals? Do you want to do it with only the comments? A lot of these fine-grained options are available. We have the two scenarios. Now, let's say we want to do the write back. We want to actually do the write back in the edit mode. Let's assume we haven't allowed anybody to do the write back in the reading mode. Let's say you want to do the write back. One of the things that you would notice is we have the option to write it to the main core all series, or you can actually select the version one and you can actually do. Now, when you do the all series, including the actuals will end up actually going. This option is available only in the edit mode. So let's say we do the write back. So you will see, you get a nice status of how the write back is progressing. You get a status. And then here is where you have the logs, where you can get the full tracking of what really happened. So you see, we wrote to Snowflake, we wrote to OneDrive. All of this information is available to you. And this is something that I wanted to show is, look at the ease of use of how easy it is to actually do the write back. So now, in case you are wondering, I can actually walk you down to the live demo folder, and I wanted to show you the OneDrive folder. Where we did the write back. It's 11. We have actually done the write back, and I'm actually going to open both the all series, and this is available for you. And so it just gives you an idea. When I open it, you get an idea about the budget version 1, who wrote it, what it is, and it is available for you to actually, with the update time, what was done. This is the format that it is written. So we could actually go for the essence of time, I'm not going to the Snowflake, and I'm actually not showing you, but you can actually, in the same format, write to Snowflake as well, with including the comments, it goes in. What I would like to do now that I have explained, I want to show you some of the cool features with the premium edition as well, because we want to introduce a lot of the concepts that we have with our premium edition as well. So I want to explain how you could actually use the premium edition and do a lot of the same things without actually having to purchase the enterprise edition, but it gets a little bit more manual. But let me explain what I'm talking about. Let's assign the same the GL accounts, and then let's say we do the same thing. And I wanted to show you some of the capabilities that we are bringing in even for the premium matrix. So we have the same data set, basically the GL to hierarchy level 2 and level 3, and we have this. So let's say I want to do this on a premium matrix. Notice you do not have the sign-in, you do not have the commenting option. When we come to the export, the write back and the scheduler, because these are what require the Azure services, these are disabled. The Inforiver Premium Matrix, which I'm actually showing you the demo, is actually Power BI certified. It doesn't use a database. It doesn't have any server component that you don't have to really worry about the data security aspects of it. Again, one of the things a lot of customers actually ask is, I wanted to show you, we are actually working on where you can actually customize the toolbar, because one of the questions a lot of customers ask is, do you have to expose all these features to the end users? This is one thing that I wanted to explain. The power of the Inforiver matrix, both the premium matrix and the enterprise matrix, is we are giving a lot of power to the end user and for self-service. If you ask yourself, what is the most popular feature across all BI products or pretty much any product in the world, is the download to export to Excel. So one of the things that I'm actually going to be demonstrating right now is we are actually working on bringing a lot of these capabilities, even for the Power BI end users or the viewers who could actually self-service themselves. So let's say we do the same data input. Again, one of the things we are trying to do in the coming release of the Inforiver Premium is to bring a lot of those input types also to the premium matrix, because let's say you are a small business, you have the ability to edit the PBX file and save it to the PBX file, or export to Excel. This is one of the things that I'm going to be demonstrating. Let's say we do the 2023 budget, the same concept, we actually do the create it. And let's say I do the same thing here, 1.5 billion, like I had showed. We are able to provide all of those capabilities just like the previous demo. We want to do the bonus to lock it to the 100 million. Let's say we want to do that. We are able to do a lot of this, and then we can even do the locking this one. So no matter what, let's say the revenue goes up by plus 200 million, the bonus is locked. Let's say the personal cost is basically, we are trying to increase it by another 100 million. You can see the bonus remains constant. So this ability to lock your fixed costs, let's say rent is a fixed cost, you can go and lock it. Let's say your training budget is fixed, let's say to 75 million. You can actually go at either at an individual leaf level. This is one of the new features that we are bringing in. You can actually lock this one. Now, one of the things that our team is working on is, let's say we are able to create some of these things, and I want to show you the user experience in the reading view and the power of this product in the reading view. Let us say we go into save this report, and I want to show you the end user experience. One of the things that we are actually working on is the ability to expose the data input, the simulation. One of the powerful feature of our product is the simulation feature. One thing you will notice, we are going to expose the simulation to the end users in the reading view if the developer would allow you to actually have it. Let's say you want to actually fine-tune this budget that you are given. You can actually come here and you can actually do insert a simulation column and select the budget, and you are going to create, let's say, let's call this actually a forecast. and you are going to be simulating this. And we are creating this column here. And what I want you to experience is, let's say you think this needs to be a little bit higher. You are able to basically, you can see, or maybe fine tune it a little bit lower, maybe the cost of goods, because it's going to go up a little bit higher. You can actually do this, and you can actually fine tune your, and in the reading view, you can actually do, and we are going to support a lot of this. And you can actually place comments basically. So this is your notes in the premium matrix. Look at, these are not comments. You are able to say, like, you are able to place notes like this, and you can even add a notes column here in the reading view. You are able to do a notes column in the reading view. And let's say you are able to do this. And what I wanted to show you is an end user, instead of downloading to Excel, making adjustments like this, they could actually export to Excel and actually share a final output. Look at the amount of time it would save the organization with the comment, with the simulations. So the power of Inforiver in quick data input entries and the quick ability to simulate and create forecasts. And one of the things that I didn't even actually show is, what if we even allowed you to create quick dynamic variances? You see the set version capability in the product. We say this is the original plan and this is the forecast. We allow you to create one-click variance analysis in the reading mode. And guess what? You have a three-way variance created. And let's say we export it to Excel. And you can even change the view, all of this with the comment, and a lot of that also you get it with the comment, with all the variances in the reading view. And we are going to offer this for even those who buy the developer license and publish. So the end users will be able to actually gain access to this, able to do the inputs, the simulation. They won't be able to save it, but they can actually export to Excel and share it with their department. Now, if you have a Power BI Pro user and you can actually have an edit access to this Power BI report, then obviously you can actually save this report, and then it gets saved to the PBX file. So these are some of the options we are giving. Now, let's say you have the enterprise matrix, you will be able to write back to the database as well. So this is kind of our vision, to bring end user self-service to the Power BI customers to do more. And obviously, we are going to give a lot of the capability to, customize the toolbar, a lot of these things that are actually going to be coming to a lot of the audience as well. One of the questions we get constantly is the ability to actually do the measure on rows. I wanted to actually give a quick hint, is that the pivot mode, the value on rows, yes, you can actually input with value on rows, where you put your multiple measures in rows. You can actually do that. You can even do the value grouping on the columns. So let me actually quickly show what they actually mean for a lot of the customers interested in the data input and the premium matrix, what this new capability. Now, these are available for the enterprise matrix customers as well. So let's say we have a situation where I have a simple state, and I have my quantity, I have my profit, I have my sales, and let's say we have our year in the columns. So one of the things a lot of customers expect is, if you notice, you have the 2024, 2025, 2026, 2026. What if I wanted to organize the quantities together, the sales together, the measures together? Today, it's not something that you can do with your calculation groups, but we actually support this. The only thing you can do is in a pivot table. You come here, this is a new feature that is available in the premium matrix and the enterprise matrix. You see the value on columns, boom. In one click, we are able to group the quantities, the profits, and the sales together. And this is a very, very powerful one-click operation that you have available in the Inforiver Premium Matrix that you can actually download from the app source and try. On the same token, let's assume you are actually have a situation where you want to capture the input. a lot of customers have, where they actually wanted to put values on rows. So they want to actually have the quantities, the profit and sales, and this is where the pivot mode value on rows comes in. So I just wanted to quickly highlight that these new capabilities, especially in the layout section, we are bringing in a lot of capabilities to catch up to what you can do with pivot table, and these are some of the very powerful features. And we even bring in, if you look at the alignment, we even support for a long text auto wrapping or automatic wrapping of the columns, because this is one of the questions a lot of customers had asked us. We did. And we have brought in a lot of complex properties here. In case you are wondering, hey, can we do this? I request you to look here. From able to change the toolbar, basically you would come here to display. You can actually look at a lot of the capabilities, like the ability to do the column spacing, to the status bar, to you have pretty much every property that you want to do, able to combine the column headers into one. Let's say you have a column hierarchy, you can actually do. So this is something that we request you all to try it out as part of the premium matrix, but all these also come to the enterprise matrix customer. And I don't want you to think this is a data input write back webinar, and I don't want you to think that only with the enterprise matrix you can get value out of the Inforiver. We are trying to give a lot of those capability to the premium matrix as well, so you could actually continue to take the power of the scaled numbers, fast inputs, fast allocations, faster simulations, faster variance reporting capability, and still put in the notes like Excel and still take it to Excel rather than take the raw data dump to Excel. So I just wanted to show you a lot of this, and I think I'm going to go back and start taking your questions, address a lot of the common questions that you have, the differences between the on-prem version and the private tenant version. I do wanted to share with you all. And this presentation is going to be shared with a lot of you, so we will be able to, if you have questions, please do reach out to us. The primary difference in the private edition is it is all within your network. You would manage everything. We just provide the Inforiver software and the backend services to you. Whereas in the SaaS version, we manage everything, but you still bring the destination database. So the customer brings the destination database. It's the fastest time to implement would be the SaaS, but on the on-premise, we will have to actually deploy it. And a lot of large enterprise customers do prefer it because of data residency reasons. And you can control the scale up and scale down. All that control remains with you, and we provide the software update. Now, the most exciting part is, we have the Inforiver charts, which is a separate product for exploration, visualization, and storytelling. You can buy directly from Microsoft. But what is important is we are announcing a new pricing where you can pay per developer, not for all the users. You can obviously buy per user or combine both. For $70 per developer, you get unlimited viewers. What it does for the customers is you don't have to do any license assignment and license management. So you just buy for the Power BI developers you have. The Inforiver Premium Matrix, which provides you the ability to do the reporting, the visualization, in-cell visualization, the pivot analysis use cases, the data provenance and the auditing of what is happening in the visual, what are all the visual formulas you have inserted, the ability to do the forecasting and simulation that I mentioned. All those capabilities are available in the Premium Matrix. And the Premium Matrix will be $95 per developer per month for unlimited viewers, and you can buy directly from the Microsoft App Store as well. The Enterprise Matrix, which provides the commenting collaboration, the paginated reporting, scheduling and bursting, and the write back, they require an additional Azure services. Depending on whether you choose the SaaS edition or the on-prem edition, the pricing is a bit different. The SaaS edition, you can actually buy from the app source, and we would configure the Azure workspace for you. And then you are up and running pretty quickly. The on-premise, we will have to do a deployment for one customer at a time. So this gives a lot of clarity for the customers. We have only a comment-only user. So what we have done is there is a base cost of
$12,000 for us, for the on-premise customer to go out and deploy for each customer. But for the comment only user who want to do only comment, doesn't do any input or editing of the data, we would charge $5 per user per month. Now, if the user not even doing a comment, just doing a simple viewing, we can do just the premium license of the matrix would work. But most importantly, if a customer is large enough, want to buy an unlimited user, we will do a case-by-case pricing for the whole organization as well. What are some of the questions we have been asked by the customers about the new unlimited viewer for the premium matrix is basically whatever the content that is created by the developer, anybody in the company can view it. No license assignment is needed. This feature is only available for the Inforiver charts and the Inforiver premium matrix. And this is supported by the Microsoft license administration, and the license API follows a similar Office 365. Can we exchange the license between two developers? It's not recommended. No, for every developer, you should have one, because it's the license is tied to the developer who is creating the content. Then the question comes is, what happens if the developer leaves the organization or the team? There is a feature in Microsoft where Office 365, the Power BI administrator can take over the developer license and assign it to themselves or assign it to a new developer. That capability is as well there. Now, the customer can buy the per user licensing. In fact, the per user licensing can be very, very beneficial for a lot of small companies. Let's say I have only 5 users in the company, 10 users in the company. I'm a small company. The per user licensing would be very cheap for those companies. So it's one of the reasons we brought this capability is because some organizations are pretty large, some organizations are pretty small, some organizations are mid-size. They have a lot of Power BI footprint. They have a very limited footprint. So we've tried to address all the possible scenarios in the organization as well. Then can I do the write back from the Power BI desktop? Absolutely, you can actually do from the write back. You can, with the sync table, you can actually do and use the incremental refresh change detection. You can actually get within the 5 seconds. For non-premium tenants, it would work. You just need to do a manual refresh. You don't get the change detection feature, but you can actually do. You saw we have brought in a lot of different data input type, and you don't need any special setup except the Azure services for the enterprise matrix. If for the premium, you can still do it, and you can choose to save it in the edit mode right to the PBX file. And we support export to PDF and Excel as well, and you saw that as well. And you saw the ability to do that in a formula as well. So in essence, the product supports fairly a decent volume, but it is not a big data solution. So it's pretty optimized for a sizable data within the Inforiver visual. Basically, whatever values you can assign to the visual and load to the visual, because we do everything in the JavaScript, in the browser, in the memory. So it's not something that you can load. Now, your model could have billions of rows, but you would use a small subset of aggregated data to typically capture comment or make some budgets, because they typically are done at an aggregated high level. You do that. And we talked about the versioning, the scenarios. So the product is getting very mature in terms of a lot of the different capabilities that a lot of you had asked about. On the SaaS edition, because even a single user could go and buy our enterprise SaaS edition and schedule it and do the write back. We just don't want anybody to be abusing, because it is a shared tenant. So we can bring a low prices to small and medium businesses. We just don't want anybody to be abusing it. That's why we have the fair use policy. And we have done extensive blogging about this. We have the quick start guides. We have a lot of videos. And in case you have some questions, please feel free to reach out to us. And I am opening up the questions panel to see some of the questions that the audience has asked. There is a question: does your solution work on the Power BI report server? To be honest, this is something we think it should work, but it is not something we have extensively tested. If any report server customer is interested, we will have to explore. We think the write back should work, but we are not sure about the scheduler. This is something that we will confirm to the audience about if we can support the write back for the report server customer. Is there any way to fill in a comment on the whole component, not at a column, row, or a cell level? I think that is a fair question. I think your question was more, can I do it use with the Power BI filter? This is something that we are working with Microsoft to get the filter context of the filters that are not yet assigned to the visual, more like a global filter. Today, you have to assign to the visual and then hide them. So there is a workaround where you can actually assign the dimensions, but actually hide them and still place the comment at a report level comment you can actually do. But it is something that we are actually working on, but I don't know about 2.0, but this is something as soon as we get the filter API of the selected values exposed, we will be able to deliver that use case as well, where you can actually do more like a report level commenting as well. For customers, there is a question about, just bear with me, I want to show something. For customers that are interested in the trial, one option is you can actually go to the app source and you can do, but we strongly recommend everyone to come here to our website, and you can actually do the try for free, and then you can submit your trial request here. And this is something that we support all the customers, and we encourage you to try the product as well. And please do submit if you have any more questions. We do intend to share the recording. We do intend to share the presentation. And as you can see, there is quite a bit of investment that is going on into the product to mature based on a lot of use feedback. And we think this is the most mature write-back solution in the market today. And we are happy to do a proof of concept and demonstrate this for you. There is a question, new question on, does the solution formulas during input? We are actually working on, that is actually a very, very good question. Today, we do not have that capability, but this is something that we are trying to bring it in the roadmap. I want to go back to the roadmap slide because there is a meaningful question here. So one of the things that we are trying to do is we are trying to bring in the support for formulas in the data input column. So this should be coming in the next 2.0 release as well. Maybe it makes sense that I walk through some of the things that we are trying to bring the filter support for the data input column. We are trying to bring in the formula support for the data input column as well. You saw that the new input field types that is coming in. You saw the demonstration of the ability to lock the values. You saw the ability to do the allocation lock itself. The commenting lock feature is coming. Obviously, we are continuously working on the performance. The scenarios is where we have a lot of different things that we are working on. The write-back version management and scenario management, ability to do private and public scenarios. You saw about the ability to write back in the Synapse serverless or the data lakes. There is a new question here about the support for other languages. It is a very, very good question. After the 2.0 release, our plan is to at least support major languages, start adding because our product is all our products, Inforiver Charts, Matrix, and the Enterprise Matrix would have released a 2.0 maturity, which means it's pretty stable in terms of the user experience, all of that. So we plan, that's at 2.1, we plan to invest into providing additional language supports. We probably will provide major languages. If you have any specific languages, please do reach out to us. We are happy to prioritize. Some of the customers had reached out about custom fonts, and that is also coming soon. And in fact, it should probably be coming with the 1.8 release as well. there is one more question. I want to take it. How Writeback does it create new rows in the dedicated tables? You have shown aggregated. So I think it is a good question. So I wanted to come back here. The Writeback table always writes back what is in the visual. It doesn't take the data that is in the model. Whatever you have in the Power BI visual, we support writing back in its exact copy of the visual with the latest value, the updated value. In the Power BI format, it writes. It doesn't take all the data in the model, and if you have RLS established, it would honor the RLS, and it would pass back the RLS as well. Now, there is a question on, is the RLS extended to the Writeback database table? I think that is a good question, but I am not sure. I will have to get back to you. But when the input author is actually looking at the data, they can only see. So this is a good example. That's why I did the demonstration. This user can only see international, and this user can only see the United States. So they have only United States. That's why I had this example. Now your question is valid when they can write back, but I don't think they have access to that database, only the global admin or somebody. So they can actually input, edit, and then they can save. And so think of it as a way to gather. To answer the question, is the RLS extended automatically? The answer is no, but this is something that we would like to take it back as a feedback. Again, we are continuing to invest, and please reach out to us if there is any particular gap, but we feel with a lot of the feedback that we have received from a lot of our prospective customers, our customers, the solution continues to mature, and we think this is the most modern, pretty self-service, unstructured write-back to give the agility that you are looking for. So with that, I would like to conclude the webinar, and please feel free to reach out to us in case you have any further questions.